Across the feline family, survival is a solitary pursuit. For a leopard, a hunt that fails to connect means wasted energy and immediate hunger. But lions have abandoned this solitary existence. They form sprawling societies that can number up to 40 individuals. Group living emerged as an advanced mechanism for territorial warfare and collective survival in the competitive, unforgiving environment of the African savanna. The core of this society is the sisterhood. This stable coalition of mothers, daughters, and cousins remains in their natal territory for their entire lives. Male kings will come and go, but the females provide the pride's permanence. Within this female collective, social relationships are remarkably flat. Without a rigid, linear hierarchy dictating every interaction, internal conflict remains low. This egalitarian structure allows for rapid, voluntary cooperation. By maintaining the territory and securing the food supply, the sisterhood serves as the permanent infrastructure and economic engine of the pride. They make the existence of this feline nation possible. That economic engine operates through highly coordinated tactics. When stalking a herd, the pride fans out into a specific formation. Wings flank the prey to cut off escape routes, while centers drive the target into the trap. Yet participation is highly dependent on the target. When hunting smaller, low-risk prey like a warthog, the evolutionary math of cooperation often breaks down. Individual lionesses will actively cheat and withhold their effort, letting a single hunter expend the energy to secure a meal. Taking down an animal that can easily crush a predator requires absolute life-or-death cooperation from every member of the hunting party. No individual can survive the attempt alone when targeting massive, high-risk prey like a Cape buffalo. This caution is driven by the biological reality of injury economics. For an apex predator, a broken rib limits the ability to hunt, turning a minor injury into a death sentence by starvation. The pride must constantly calculate risk, and a successful hunt immediately triggers a secondary threat. The scent of a fresh kill attracts massive clans of spotted hyenas, who exploit their numbers to harass and bully exhausted lionesses off their hard-won meal. Mastering the hunt guarantees nothing if the pride cannot defend the carcass. To protect their caloric investments from the savanna, the sisterhood requires specialized brute force. This is where the adult male lion fits into the pride's architecture. These males serve a specific evolutionary purpose. They are dedicated territorial defenders, tasked with guarding the pride's resources. He achieves this through specialized defensive adaptations. An adult male's massive body weight allows him to scatter an entire hyena clan single-handedly, and his roar, which carries up to 5 miles, serves as a constant auditory boundary line for rival predators. Because a single male is highly vulnerable to being overthrown, survival requires alliances. Males form lifelong coalitions, typically forged between brothers and cousins who were raised in the same nursery. The actions of these alliances are defined by extreme violence. To secure and maintain a territory spanning 170,000 acres, one famous alliance known as the Mapogo Coalition systematically eliminated roughly 40 rival lions.
A male coalition functions as a ruthlessly effective, deeply bonded military force. They violently hold the exterior borders so that the sisterhood can safely hunt and rear cubs within. But a coalition's reign is always temporary. The borders are constantly tested by younger, larger rival coalitions prowling the edges of the territory, waiting for the resident males to show signs of weakness. When an invading force attempts a takeover, the resulting physical combat is catastrophic. These territorial battles routinely result in severe mutilation, spinal trauma, or injuries that condemn the losing defenders to a slow starvation. If the invaders win, they immediately execute the darkest consequence of regime change: infanticide. The new kings systematically track down and eliminate the previous coalition's offspring. This timeline chart compares a male coalition's average 2-year reign against the 2 full years a female requires to raise a single cub to independence. Mating only occurs if a female is not nursing. The new males are driven by a genetic urgency to reset the female's reproductive cycles immediately, ensuring they can pass on their own genes before they are inevitably overthrown themselves. The demographic toll of this biological conflict is staggering. Incoming kings are responsible for up to 60% of all cub mortality within a pride. The coalition system was designed to protect the pride's territory from external enemies. Ultimately, it becomes its deadliest internal threat. The sisterhood pushes back against these cycles of violence. To protect their young from infanticidal males and opportunistic hyenas, pregnant females retreat to isolated dens to give birth, later pooling their young together to form a crush or communal nursery to share bird duties. The pride relies on fission-fusion dynamics. They seamlessly break apart into small, efficient hunting groups and immediately merge back together into a heavily guarded defensive fortress whenever the cubs are threatened. Even with these highly advanced tactics, the odds remain harsh. Between starvation during lean seasons and the relentless cycles of territorial warfare, 50 to 80% of all cubs will fail to survive their first 2 years. The savanna functions as an evolutionary pressure cooker. Decades of relentless external threats and internal conflict have refined the pride into a family unit capable of absorbing immense demographic loss. But that resilience has a limit. They evolved to fight hyenas and stealthy leopards and rival male coalitions. Those specialized adaptations leave them entirely defenseless against human pressures. Poaching, wire snares, and intentionally poisoned carcasses bypass the pride's natural defenses completely. These modern threats wipe out key members of the sisterhood and the male coalitions, causing the complex social structure to collapse from the inside out. Lions secure their place at the top of the food chain through a system of brutal, calculated cooperation, a social architecture that requires vast, unbroken landscapes to function. To save the king of beasts, we must protect the sprawling arenas that allow these magnificent, embattled societies to play out their ancient politics.